True.
You get, because back
not
then
a
in
joke.
school. So this was what happened. I was interning at some point, and it was getting at me.
Okay.
The fact that I had to go for go to the radio station and come back, and I had school. So I just had to tell the person that I was placed under. I told her, so this is hard. And I was in my final year, funny enough. So I told her, this is really hard. I don't think I can be able to do that, because sometimes I had to miss lectures just so I could go to work and all that. So I told her, you know what, I would have to. I wasn't even working, right?
You were
I was just interning, and it was that difficult for me. So I had to tell her, Ma, please let us do 2 days in a week, so that it's not too much on me. And thankfully enough, she accepted.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So, like I said before, there are different types of individuals. There are some persons who are, very, very forward, like focused. Nothing can stop them from what they want to achieve.
Yeah.
So even if they decide to start a business as a side hustle, even if they decide to start working just so that they could just help themselves with,
They'll still do great.
great.
Yeah.
You see? But some of us are not like that.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make you dull. It just means that you're a different person and you're unique in whoever,
your own way.
in your own way.
Yeah.
So, but then again, we are here to talk to you about some of the things that you could do and some of the things you should take into notice if you decide to combine school with work.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's exactly what we are here to talk about. So remember, you can also join in on the show 090-922-29922 or 091-226-77989, or you could send a WhatsApp message to the number 0806 349 2349. That's it. That's the WhatsApp number. So let us just kickstart with some of the things that you can definitely do. One of which was what you mentioned. You could have a friend who is a student.
A student, yeah.
Who's
not working like you are. Yeah.
One that has got your back, so that if you have to go out there to do something, they could always help you write your attendance.
Yes. Oh,
if the lecturer is lenient, so lecturers are not lenient. They'll tell you, do not write for somebody else. If you write for somebody, I will catch you.
Definitely.
Oh my God! Whenever your lecturer makes that statement, that's it. No matter the love I have for you, I will not do it. I'm so sorry, but I cannot do it. I'm so scared. So, like she mentioned, like Queen Red mentioned, you could have a friend who is not working, so that they could, give you updates as regards what was said in class, what the lecturer said. If there are any assignments, you could do them, and just keep you up to speed with what's going on, in class. So that's one. Have you a friend who's got your back? You get what I mean?
Have you a friend who got your back?
Exactly. What she said. So that's one. And another thing is having a conversation with your
lecturers, yes,
which you mentioned.
Yes, definitely.
So that's definitely, that's something that has to happen. And aside from that, you also need to have a conversation with your employer.
Yes, definitely.
Let them know that you're students. Now, in respect to that, Queen Red, having a conversation with your employer, do you think it puts you at risk of losing that job? Because there are some employers that would not want to have you distracted.
Yeah.
You get, I know of someone, she loves her job really well, loves it to bits. And but she has to be here all the time. She has to come to work every single time. And that's like hard on her because school has just resumed and she has to focus with, all of the activities over there. And she's like, okay, fine, let me just talk to the employer about it. The employer said, see, I know you love the job and whatnot, but this is a job.
Oh, wow.
You get what I mean? This is a job and you have to bring your 100% on the table. Okay, so we can't have you come today and not have you come tomorrow because the job is going to suffer.
Yeah.
And obviously your academics will definitely suffer as well because you're focused here and you're focused there. So do you think it puts that person, the employee, at risk?
I think the employee should be very sure of who he or she is about to have a conversation with, if you think it's not going to work out, I would not advise that you go and risk, losing your job. But then I feel like most people should understand, right? They should understand and try to make some adjustments. Depends on the kind of work or the nature of job that the person is taking on. So yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so another step is to choose the right job, which you mentioned initially. There are some jobs that you have to consider. You go through their descriptions and know what it entails. Is it something that you can do? Is it something you can wing? You get what I mean? Take for instance, if you have to be a social media manager for a company, now that's a job you could probably do remotely.
Yes, definitely.
It could be hybrid. You do a little bit remote, and you do a little bit in the office kind of thingy. So you need to look at the job descriptions. Look for the job that is not going to make your school suffer,
yes,
and will not make you suffer too as an individual, because you're just carrying two burdens on your shoulders without thinking about you, who is actually the carrier. So you also have to think about something that will not make your school suffer. And will not make you as a person suffer. And another thing I would want to put out here is at some point, like that friend of mine I told you about, at some point you have to make some very, very serious decisions. Decisions like, okay, fine, when she told me about it and I was like, okay, fine and good, this person is not willing to break grounds for you, because they're not being selfish. They're just thinking about their businesses or their business, which they just created for a certain purpose. You don't expect them to bend rules to favor you and displease themselves, obviously. So I told her at some point you also have to think about you as a person. You have to think about if this is priority over the other. Do you want to work or would you like to school? Because at some point you need to ask yourself that question. Right? If it's too much, it gets to the point where you need to actually ask yourself that question. So that is one thing for a fact.
True.
Right? So that's about it. Do you have another one?
No, I think that's basically it.
Okay.
All
right, so you heard her. This is what we're going to do. We'll go for a short break. When we come back, we'll reel out some of other things you need to consider if you plan on juggling school with work. And also for some persons, they've got businesses that they do while they also come to school. Both things get to weigh on them a little bit. So we are going to talk about that as well, but that will be right after this musical break. This is Mr. Easy with a song titled Personal Baby.
It's Kelpie vibes.
My personal baby do personal thing for me. She a killer for me. She do whatever just for me. My personal baby do personal thing for me. She a killer for me. She do whatever just for me. Me I no go let go. Girl, you in my mind. In time, and when I feel it so low, you dey make a smile, always dey on time, and I no feel left yo. You go be my wife till the day I die. She make we go slow, or make we go faster. My personal baby do personal thing for me. She a killer for me. She do whatever just for me. My personal baby do personal thing for me. She a killer for me. She do whatever just for me. She gon' never lie to me. Rara, she give me the thing I need. Jara, sweeting me like rice and peas. Cara, only you go be my baby. Mama, girl, you know your energy. Pure, it dey give me ecstasy for sure. Girl, me no go ever do. She know, oh no, me can do. Me I no go let go. Girl, you in my mind every time, and when I'm feeling so low, you dey make a smile, always dey on time, and I no feel left yo. You go be my wife till the day I die. She make we go slow, or make we go faster. My personal baby do personal thing for me. She a killer for me. She do whatever just for me. My personal baby do personal thing for me. She a killer for me. She do whatever just for me. Girl, you in my mind every fucking time. And when I'm feeling so low, you let me down. Always stay on time, and I don't feel left yo. You gon' be my wife till the day I die. She make me go slow, or make we go faster, baby, right now.
Ile boy no. Oh, I don't wanna. Live my life for you. All over the news, Only God and I know the kind of thing I do, the kind of thing we do. Man, I thank God I got the lead. Say God no ungodly. Oluwa na ain't comforting me. When these people they come body me. Man, I thank God I got the lead. Say God no ungodly. Oluwa na ain't comforting me. When these people they come body me. It's why I die sometimes. A little Henny and ice. Kafiti kulu my mind. Make I live this life. Oh, my leg. Oh, kill it, boy, no. Make I play you my cassette, you. Anything you sell is a market, you. Try to they look from my aspect, you. They loud them at the handset, you. Me I know fi drag it shine. Oluwa na be my kanji down. Me I know they try to connect the light. I just want Charlie boy day, make Charlie boy day. Man, I thank God I got the lead. Say God no ungodly. Oluwa na ain't comforting me. When these people they come body me. Man, I thank God I got the lead. Say God no ungodly. Oluwa na ain't comforting.
And of course, that is Omalay with the song titled Godly. Now we are talking about something that is very, very important right here on Campus Drive on Boss Radio 98.9 FM. And of course, I've got the delectable, beautiful
Queen Red.
Queen Red. Is that the reason behind your...
Yeah, sort of.
Oh, okay. So that's... Your hair extensions are usually red.
Yes.
Everything you do is red. Okay, that's original. Yeah. I like it. Well done. I think I would have to go with purple.
Oh,
yeah, it's just I love black too much. Yeah.
Yeah, purple is royal. You know, Her Majesty. Yeah. I think that's a very good color to choose.
Or blue. Blue should do, right?
Okay.
All right. So, of course, it is 44 minutes past 5 p.m. and we are having a very important conversation that I think you need to be a part of. And the conversation boils around school work, where is the balance? That's actually the topic. School work, where is the balance? Because there ought to be a balance. All right, so I'm speaking about balance while we're off while we were off air. I am Queen Red. We were having a conversation and we thought about online, schooling.
Yeah, online schooling.
Don't you think that's going to help? One way or the other?
Would. No, a lot actually. It would definitely help cut down on cost of transportation.
Okay.
And then you can tune in wherever you are, at home, at work. You can have time to do some other things. But these online studies happen mostly outside Nigeria or in private universities, in like some private universities in Nigeria, but I don't think public universities have anything like that going on right now.
Okay.
But I think it's something that should really be considered, because that way it helps the students also to be computer literate, because most of the time they'll not know that you need a laptop for this, you need to put one or two things together, and so online studies is definitely great. It's a great way.
So I think that's something that we need to adopt, in our institutions. Try online studies for some students who wouldn't be available physically, because that's going to go a long way. Take, for instance, let's even talk about it. You go to school, you focus all of your attention on, getting the degree, and you come out and there are no jobs. Right? There are no jobs, and for some persons, I know of a friend who was he was into barbecue, grilling, grill fish, grill chicken, and he's good like that. You get what I mean? Yeah. Business was good. He said, Faith, there is no week that I don't go home with 70,000 as of then. As in, we both went to school together. So as of then should be like 2013, maybe 2014. 70K as of then. A week.
Wow.
And he's talking about he's done, getting out what's it called, the capital and everything. That's profit, 70K.
Wow.
But then he had to come to school, and because he wasn't too certain with the people he'll be leaving the business with, he stayed in Bayelsa. I don't know. He stayed in Bayelsa as of that time, but then he had to come to Imo State. Currently, he's in PH. Okay. So, and that's it. That business is gone. It's dried up.
So he didn't continue the business.
He didn't, because continuing that business, people are now, much more. How would I say? They've moved on. That's the word. Okay. They've moved on from your taste of sweet barbecue to another person's taste. So that's it. Back. No, you can't. It's hard when you let people go, or when people leave. You cannot get them back. It's usually hard. Right? So what I'm saying is, take for instance that friend of mine should stumble on a university, or Imo State University for instance, willing and ready to introduce online schooling and online studies. You don't have, your business doesn't have to suffer. And now when you're done with school, you still have a business. You have a certificate, and you have a business,
and you have money, coming into your account,
and you're employing people. It's a win-win situation.
A win-win-win-win.
You get what I mean? So I think that is definitely something that universities need to also think about. Now, speaking about universities, let's also talk about some I would say ladies, because it's much more definitely is much more fine-tuned towards ladies. Some ladies will recently got married or were married, and they decided, okay, it's time for us to go back to school and learn a thing or two. But you see them struggling. You see some of them would have to be a mother, be a wife at night, and also be a student during the day, and it's usually quite tasking. You see some of them come with kids to school, like toddlers and babies, and it's quite distracting.
I see that a lot actually in school. Yes, I have classmates who recently got married, and for some reason they can't hold on for a year or two before giving birth, so they just start putting to bed, and you see them coming to write exams with their babies, and maybe there's no one around to take care of the baby, and she has no option than to bring the baby to school. You see her nursing, writing exams. It's actually crazy. I don't know how they're able to manage these superheroes.
They are superheroes, because trust me, I'm thinking of what my lecturer is going to set an exam. I have no space in my life for a baby who is probably crying, right? So, but in situations like this, what do you think that family members? I think family members and definitely their spouses need to do to help them cushion the effect of this, because it's quite strenuous. Very, very strenuous.
I feel like the family members and their spouses should support them both emotionally and physically and financially, because if the husband is able to get home on time and do one or two things, there are some sweet husbands that will get home and still make something for their wives to eat when she comes back from school. If their spouses are understanding enough to help out in some little ways that they think would be relieving to their wives, then it would definitely go a long way. Or maybe family members who understand that the mother has to go to school and are willing to look after the baby for them for like an hour or 2 or 3, that would also go a very long way. But these days, even mothers are scared to give their babies to just anybody, you understand? And with all that's going on in the world, there's so much craziness happening that even close family members, you cannot really trust them with your babies. So I feel like getting support from family and their spouses definitely goes a long way, and their friends as well. Friends, yeah.
Okay, so now that we have gone through far and wide, we are back to where we started, and it still boils down to, as a student who is struggling between working or even own your own business. People that own their own business I feel like they're off the hook.
They are
some
sort
point.
of, to some degree. Yes, they definitely are. They're enjoying a lot of privileges compared to those that are being employed. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so but then again, like I said, we're back to where we started, and that has to do with how you could create a balance. We've already spoken for the case of moms who have to juggle family, not wahala. I was about to say wahala, but family gara gara. I think that's the word for me. And still school, and also we've also talked about some persons who need to. Some persons who are working just so that they could earn money for school and money for certain things, handouts and all that. So we've talked about how important it will be for you to speak to your probably not cost advisor, but speak to the lecturers, speak to a friend who is probably going to help you with what's going on in case you're absent and they are writing a test. She could just call you and tell you, come. So what happens in situations where they're about to write a test and you're going to miss it? What's going to happen in that situation?
There are two things. Either you leave whatever you're doing and go write your test, or you miss your test and then meet your lecturer later and sort things out. Yes. Okay.
Well, what she said. Okay, so Queen Red, I'm going to have you give your final take.
Okay, so we're talking about balancing working and schooling. I feel like I have 8 points, 8 simple steps to balancing work and schooling.
Okay.
And the first step would be to stay on schedule. You have to be aware of what your schedules are like, so you don't mix up your hours, working and schooling. You know when to go to where you have to go to. And number 2 will be separating work from school. Like when it's time for work. When it's time for school or for reading, you don't bring in work or anything. Just let there be a balance, or between the two of them. And then get a support system. Make sure your friends and family know that your schedule is about to change. They have to be aware that you're combining work with school now, and they should support you in any way that they can. And then 4, you have to study something that you enjoy. When you study something you enjoy, you'll be very, very interested in that field, and it would be so much easier to learn because you're happy to learn what you're studying. And then number 5, you have to use your resources. Use your resources as much as you can. And some schools offer online studies like we said, so it's always easier for you to combine these things when you know the resources that you have are going to be enough for you to do what you have to do. And number 6, you have to stay healthy. Please, body no be firewood. It's a lot of work. You are aware that this is going to be double hustle for whatever case that you are in. So you have to stay healthy, drink enough water. When you have to rest and leave social media alone. You know what you have to do.
That's that point right
leave
there.
WhatsApp conversations alone. If it's not bringing in money, just focus your mind, rest your mind, and then relax. Basically, relax. Make sure this is the 8 points. And the most important points, make sure that you keep your goal in mind. You have to be aware of where you're going.
Exactly.
What in the next couple of years I should be done with this, and this is what I have to do. This is what I have. Set your goals, write them down on a piece of paper, and then continue reminding yourself of these particular goals that you want to achieve. And then that should be it. So
okay, so what she said, literally everything she said, but for me, I would really, really love to say this: breathe. All right, please learn to breathe. It's not a joke. Like she said, body no be firewood. I know you're doing an amazing job because it's really, really huge. you have to be superhero or
Yeah.
superhuman to be able to combine work with school. It's very tasking mentally and every other way. So please breathe. If you want to rest well.
Rest when
You
you have the
get.
opportunity to go out and enjoy with your friends. Go out, unwind.
You get, so that you will not be bitter at the fact that you had to live your life in a certain way just so you could achieve something. It's
Yeah.
nice though, but please breathe. You're going to be all right. We all are going to be fine eventually.
Yeah.
So just breathe.
We're
and
rooting for you.
We're rooting for you. You're doing a good job. And definitely you're going to reap the benefits of your hard work. All right,
100%.
we love you. You know that. So we are going to go now, but definitely we're going to have Queen Red come into the studio.
Okay, I would love that. Really.
Yeah, definitely. Come on. The conversation was really nice. I loved it. So you can definitely be a part of this conversation. If you'd like to be a guest on this show, please let me know. We actually do have like our group thing. So if you want to be part of us on Campus Drive, it's a community of students in Imo State University, Imo State institutions, right? Anywhere. Imo State University,
Federal Poly, Alvan, all those institutions.
What she said, right? So you can be a part of us. We just talk basically. We just look at topics that are very important and we just jump into it. All right. I love you. My name is Faith. And of course, if you'd like to be a part of the show, you can just send a WhatsApp message to the number 0806 399 2399 0806 399 2399. This is Fino and Techno with a song titled Full Current.
Yeah, we go. Give me more. Yeah, we go. Give me more. My coconut, that's my baby. My coconut, there goes my baby. We two connect, that's my baby. My full current, there goes my baby. My coconut, that's my baby. My coconut, there goes my baby. You two correct, that's my baby. My full current, there goes my baby.
Yeah, well, lost my sense, man. Okay, catching like a you will bless me now. Who can no go fit to ever miss dinner? Come and be looking at my Benzema. Boy, if I'm wild, you go maintain beauty and brains. Today be the day, may feature your pains. Be those celebrations, pop champagne. Only you go fit the space in my heart no remains. When I look at you, I know there is something about you. I want to wife you for life. I want to day beside you. I know they want you. I never see a way like you. I wanna wife you for life. I want to day beside you.
Yeah, my baby, here we go again.
Give me more.
I need to give me as a space.
Here we go.
Promise I never leave your side.
Give me more. My coconut, that's my baby. My coconut, there goes my baby. We two connect, that's my baby. My full current, there goes my baby. My coconut, that's my baby. My coconut, there goes my baby. You two correct, that's my baby. My full current, there goes my baby.
Make her give you love when you never seen before. Wipe your tears, you no go cry anymore. Okuba something give me, I know fit ignore. That's my baby looking good in the yard. Finest, he change the good mindset. It's all down, everybody silence. Yeah, my money can no client. I mean, what about pilot? When I look at you, I know there is something about you. I want to wife you for life. I want to day beside you. I know they want you. I never see a way like you. I wanna wife you for life. I want to day beside you.
That's my baby. My coconut, there goes my baby. We two connect, that's my baby. My full current, there goes my baby. My coconut, that's my baby. My coconut, there goes my baby. We two correct, that's my baby. My full current, there goes my baby. That's my baby. There goes my baby. That's my baby. There goes my baby. That's my baby.
Tonight, I will catch a flight and come see you tonight. Hey, ooh, girl, I want to see you tonight. I will catch a flight and come see you tonight. Cause this distance is killing me for sure. So give me for more, give me meat on top. I want this, your love, oh. Say for distance, I do anything.
Where there's a boss, there is a law. We've created the law for other stations to abide. The new Boss Radio, 98.9 FM. Radio for the boss mind. News and current affairs. It's Boss Radio, 98.9 FM. Owerri. Here's the world news at 6 on Boss Radio, 98.9 FM.
Good evening and welcome to the World News at 6 on Boss Radio 98.9 FM. Live from our Owerri studio, I am Faith Martins and with me is
Lillian Chimaroke.
The fight against drug abuse is a collective one. Let's join hands to rid our society of the menace. And now the headlines. Gunmen attack Ejemekuru, leave 3 dead. NLC to embark on nationwide strike over petrol subsidy. And on the foreign news, shelling in Russian border region kills 2. Details of this and more coming shortly. Please stay tuned. Reports say that unidentified gunmen yesterday shot dead 3 persons at Umoduwa, Umoluwo, Ejemekuru in Uguta local government area of Imo State. An indigene of the place, Duruji Ogechi, who confirmed the incident, said that the 3 persons, an elderly man of 80 years, a young lady married in less than a week, and a young maid who was from the same family, was gunned down. He added that the gunmen stopped at the scene, shot the 3 persons, and left immediately. Ogechi calls on the state government to come to their aid by stuffing the area with security men to avoid further killings. Recall that there have been reports of killings from this locality. And still in Imo State, reports say that a yet-to-be-identified man drowned in a waterway under construction at Road 5 Gate, Imo Housing Estate, Umuguma. Onlookers at the scene of incident lamented over the bad state of the road, which is under construction for a while now. They said that water floods the area when there is a downpour, making it difficult to identify the walk-through areas. A concerned citizen, Syndicate Lawrence, who confirmed the incident, calls on the state government to take care of the road so as to avert further casualties.
Governor Alex Oti, who reopened the Umuehinebu Industrial Market in Osisioma local government of Abia State after it was closed for some time because of leadership crisis. The governor appointed Timothy Iheke Kalu as the sole administrator of the market for 3 months, during which he is expected to work with various unions in the market to resolve all issues that led to the closure of the market. The new market sole administrator, who is also expected to institute proper leadership, which would enable the market to function seamlessly during his 3 months reign. Nigerian Labour Congress has said the union will commence a nationwide strike by Wednesday. The national president of the NLC, Joe Ajero, disclosed this during a press briefing in Abuja on Friday. Ajero said the strike will be embarked upon if the government fails to reverse the new pump price for premium motor spirit, petrol, adding that it would no longer negotiate with individuals without portfolios. This comes amidst
amid fuel shortages across the country occasioned by President Bola Tinubu's inaugural speech, in which he declared that fuel subsidy is gone.
This is Boss Radio World News at 6. Still to come, shelling in Russia border region kills 2. Plus business, entertainment and sport news. Please stay tuned. Glad to know that you're still there. Now on to the foreign news. 2 women have been killed in shelling by Ukrainian forces in the Russian border region of Belgorod, its governor said. Vyacheslav Gladkov said the victims were hit by shrapnel as they were traveling in a car near the village of Maslova Pristan. Officials in the neighboring Bryansk and Krux region said buildings had been damaged in shelling and an overnight drone attack. Ukraine has sought for 2022. These growth rates were lower compared to the growth rates of their corresponding quarters of 2021, which were 19.36% and 7.30% respectively. But MBS blamed inflation and challenging economic conditions of the country for the negative growth.
And now in the world of entertainment, award-winning Nigerian singer Tiwa Savage has lamented the fuel scarcity due to the announcement of the removal of subsidy by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The singer, who recently returned to the country from Brazil, where she went on holiday, said she came back home to fuel scarcity and epileptic power supply. She also bemoaned that the damage to one of her car tires due to a bad road. The Afrobeat star said she is considering going back to Brazil because of the hardship in Nigeria. Asisat Oshoala leads Barcelona to Eindhoven for the 2023 UEFA Women's Champions League final against Wolfsburg. Oshoala, who of the Super Falcons of Nigeria, will lead the Barcelona women's squad as they take on Wolfsburg on Saturday, June 3rd, for the 2023 UEFA Women's Champions League final at the PSV Stadium in Eindhoven. The decider will be played in the Netherlands for the first time.
And that's the news at 6. Before we go, here is a recap of our major stories. Gunmen attack Ejemekuru, leave 3 dead. NLC to embark on nationwide strike over petrol subsidy. And on the foreign news, shelling in Russian border region kills 2. For more news in your area and community, please call our news desk on 0913-6039-239. You can follow us on our social media platforms on Boss Radio 98.9 FM or visit our website at www.boss989fm.com. And for that special treat you desire for yourself, family and friends, you can visit Havana Fast Food, Havana Cinema or Havana Cafe 24. Remember, Mkpurumiri is a destiny killer. Say no to Mkpurumiri today. This message is brought to you by evangelist Mikey Koko. And on behalf of the news team, I am Faith Martins.
I am Lillian Chimaroke. Good evening.
Where there's a boss, there is a law. We've created the law for other stations to abide. The new Boss Radio, 98.9 FM. Radio for the boss mind.
You know say that thing where you define for Sokoto don't dey for inside your Shokoto. That's what me say our Boss Radio app don't settle. If you never hear am, now you don't hear am. Enter your mobile store, download our Boss Radio app so that you no go get any excuse to miss all our Obonge program and better music than what would they summer you. Just type Boss Radio 98.9 FM. Make I spell am now. BOSSRADIO. Our mobile app. Na im be Kenke for Kenke.
Are you ready for the ultimate shutdown? It is the FA clash you have been waiting for. Manchester United takes on Manchester City in the FA Cup final this Saturday at 3 p.m. And guess what? You can be a part of the excitement and win big. That's right, Mimi Place is giving you the chance to predict the scoreline and win a delicious shawarma meal. Our shawarma is so delicious and every bite keeps you coming for more. FA Cup final, it is the ultimate